Welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. Yesterday, we released the first episode of our new segment called Lawn Talk. In it, we discuss different topics in and around Ukraine with invited guests, from experts to eyewitnesses and ordinary Ukrainians who lived through the war. Our first episode is on Ukraine's war economy. Be sure to check it out wherever you listen to our podcast. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 347 days, Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. According to the Financial Times sources among the armed forces of Ukraine, within the next 10 days, Russia plans to launch a new large-scale offensive, reports Ukrainska Pravda. The publication informs that Kyiv received very reliable intelligence about the intentions of Russia to launch a new offensive aimed at capturing the entire Donbas. It is reported that the offensive of the Russian army may begin in the regions of the cities of Kreminna and Liman, where the enemy has been concentrating large forces for several weeks now. The Kremlin is also building up its forces in the south of Donetsk region, deploying additional forces to settlements around Mariupol. The publication writes that the aggressor intends to launch an offensive before Ukraine receives Western tanks and weapons. Sources among the military told the Financial Times that the Russian offensive would likely be led by elite units. Ukrainian Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov and Minister of Strategic Industries Pavlo Ryabikin will be dismissed, reports Espresso TV. According to the head of the Servant of the People faction in the parliament, David Arachamia, Kyrylo Budanov, head of Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, will be appointed new defense minister, while Reznikov will be transferred to the position of the Minister of Strategic Industries. The dismissal is to take place at the next meeting of the parliament, and the appointment is to be made at one meeting after that. The decision comes after a series of corruption scandals in the defense ministry with embezzlement of funds for procurement of goods for the military. Reznikov commented to ICTV Facts that he does not know anything about his possible appointment as Minister of Strategic Industries. Also, the Ukrainian parliament, the Verkhovna Rada, plans to appoint acting Interior Minister Igor Klimenko and acting head of the Security Service of Ukraine Vasyl Maluk as permanent heads of these state bodies. In his evening video address, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky informed that he enacted the decision of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine on sanctions against Russia's nuclear industry. He stressed that this is not the last decision regarding this industry, and the aim is to extend global sanctions to this part of the Russian aggression machine. He reminded that the Russian military shelled nuclear power plants and used them as a cover for shelling. Russian missiles have repeatedly followed trajectories over Ukraine's nuclear facilities. Zelensky believes it all to be sufficient reasons for Russia's nuclear industry to be subject to global sanctions. And we are working on this with our partners, said the president. Volodymyr Zelensky informed that Ukraine continues diplomatic efforts to prevent Russian athletes from taking part in the Olympic events. The president sent letters to the companies that support the International Olympic Committee the most. He stressed that it is important that the Kremlin is not able to use world sports and the Olympic movement for its propaganda. Representatives of a terrorist state should not have place at the Olympic and international tournaments, said Zelensky. The president informed that in just 1 week, Ukrainians have already received the first million of LED lamps in exchange for energy-consuming incandescent lamps. This was done in the framework of a special program launched by the European Commission. Overall, an exchange of 30 million LED lamps is planned. Volodymyr Zelensky stressed that when the program will be fully implemented, it will result in significant savings in energy consumption. A coalition of 4 public initiatives in Lithuania raised 6 million euros for air defense radars that will be purchased and handed over to the armed forces of Ukraine, reports RBK UA. The goal of the initiative was to raise 5 million euros to buy an Israel-made air defense radar. If you like what we do and would like to tip us, you can now do so directly to our PayPal. Check out the link in the description to this episode for more details. And as usual, you can subscribe to our Patreon. In gratitude for your help, we will give you access to a series of exclusive episodes on wartime life in Ukraine.